Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and we're doing the first of our character armor guides, and I figured I'd start with Zavish of Garbow, as we would say in English, or maybe Zawisza the Black, I think might be how you pronounce that. This is a real historical character that some people are probably quite upset up by the representation of him in this game. He's a famous Polish knight and nobleman who served as a commander and diplomat under Polish King Władysław II Jagiellon and Hungarian Bohemian King Sigismund of Luxembourg. During his life, he was regarded as a model of knightly virtues and was renowned for winning multiple tournaments. So, very famous Polish knight, and he's in this game, and he's represented in somewhat of a non-flattering light in the game. So I know that a lot of people are probably a little bit fired up about that, but the reason I'm starting with him is because he's got a pretty sweet suit of armor and you can get it really easily, and it's got really good stats. So we're just going to dive on into it, and I'm going to cover it. It will be the exact pieces he's wearing, and I can guarantee that because I took them from him. And I'll show you each layer, and you'll be able to create it, and then we'll go over the stats. So let's just dive on in. So starting us off in the obvious place with weapons, we have his primary weapon, which is the Battle Longsword, and he's equipped with a level 3 variant. It's a fairly good weapon, one of the best longswords in the game. It says a heavier long blade will last longer and won't break easily, but it must be balanced by a much larger pommel. This sword is designed for actual battle rather than a quick sword fight. Has a minimum strength of 11 to use, agility of 12, does a stab damage of 128, slash damage of 122, blunt damage of 43, has a defense of 220, durability of 297, a weight of 4.5 pounds, and a value of 2,404.9 groschen. So like I said, one of the best longswords that you can possibly get in the game, and, you know, that makes it excellent for a high-level suit of plate armor for a knight. He's also equipped with a torch, so if you get the gear off of him, like I'll show you how, you'll be able to grab yourself a torch as well. So I would say fairly light loadout. He doesn't have a dagger on him, no ranged weapons, no secondary weapons, no shield, but that's pretty much how I like to roll anyway in this game. I mean, I always keep a dagger equipped on me, but a longsword is my weapon of choice. So that is the weapons for Zavish of Garbow. For our first layer, the clothing layer, we have only a couple items. He has a long gambeson on him, and it is this blue variant that you can see we're wearing here. So we got the quilted pattern. Looks fairly nice, definitely standard for a knight or nobleman. It says a quilted combat shirt made of several layers of plain linen. It provides some protection on its own, but it's primarily worn as a soft underlayer under all types of armor. Stab defense of 11, slash defense of 33, blunt defense of 30. So pretty solid piece of clothing as far as a gambeson goes. It's one of the better ones that you can get in the game. He also has a pair of brown noble quilted trousers, also at level 3. It says thick wool trousers, well made of honest fabric, so they don't hinder movement and last a while. Stab defense of 24, slash defense of 34, and a blunt defense of 31. Then lastly, we have the crude padded coif, and this is at level 2. It's this tan variant. It says sturdy padded cap, serving as a soft underlayer beneath the helmet. A good soft padding is simply essential, even for tough guys. Stab defense of 15, slash defense of 23, and a blunt defense of 23. So that is our base layer, the clothing layer. I know you guys like to see it from the outside, so here is the front view of just the clothing. Here's the side view, and here is the rear view. So that is the clothing for Zavish of Garbow. Let's add the padding and mail level. So for the second layer, it's fairly simple because he only has the one piece. So we have the Saxon hauberk, and it's at level 3. It says a long chainmail shirt with short sleeves covering only the arms of its wearer. This one has a stab defense of 21, slash defense of 44, and a blunt defense of 41. So not the best hauberk in the game, but it's decently well suited to giving you some pretty sweet stat boosts. He does not have a collar, so that's one thing that this suit of armor is missing. So if you wanted to pad it out, adding a collar would add some extra head protection. Outside of that, of course, his coif, or the padded coif, you know, for the top of his head, that layer could also be beefed up quite a bit. So we're already seeing areas where we could potentially buff this suit a lot to make it a lot better. But that is his second layer. Once again, from the outside, here we have the front view, here's the side, and here's the rear view. And there we have our armor. So you can see that it is essentially a suit of noble's armor. We're missing gauntlets, but we'll get to that. The items that make it up that you'll find on him are a level 2 set of Nuremberg plate gauntlets. It says full arm and forearm protection made of precision forged and perfectly aligned metal plates. The armor is decorated with brass lining on the edges. It's named after the famous armor workshops in Nuremberg, Germany, where it may have originated, but is now commonly made in other cities. So we have a stab defense of 114, slash defense of 83, and a blunt defense of 28. Then we also have the Nuremberg bassinet. This is the one with the black aventail covering our neck and everything. This is also a level 3 variant. It says a helmet with a German clap visor is an example of the highest armor's art. It is easy to breathe in, and through the widened visors, it is much easier to see to the sides. This one has a stab defense of 129, slash defense of 94, and a blunt defense of 33. Then we have one of the noble cuirasses. This is also a level 3 variant. It's a bright silver one with the, of course, gold or brass trimmings. It says a masterpiece from the best armorsmith workshops. Well-set metal parts, decorated with brass bands, possibly additionally suitably gilded. The two-piece cuirass is joined by folded plate folds so that the armor perfectly covers the whole body and can still be worn while riding a horse. We have a stab defense of 126, slash defense of 92, and blunt defense of 33. And of course, bringing up the leg armor, we have the Noble's Plate Legs, a level 2 variant. It says a masterpiece of plate armor decorated with brass lining. The forged plates are further hardened to achieve higher durability, while the metal sheet could be weaker and therefore lighter overall. The plate legs are completed with foot protection called sabatons, so we have integrated sabatons here. Stab defense of 114, slash defense of 83, and a blunt defense of 28. So that is our plate armor level, the third layer, which is typically the highest layer I go to for, armor guides. Here's what that looks like from the front, here's what it looks like from the side, and here's the rear view of that armor. So like I said, it is clearly just a suit of, hybrid Nuremberg and noble armor, and that of course looks quite good because the pieces all are designed to look good together. But of course we have one more special thing with this suit, because it wouldn't be the outfit of Zavish of Garbow if we didn't have it, and it is the Waffenrock of the Lords of Garbow. So once we add that, we definitely look a lot more unique. It says a Waffenrock bearing the coat of arms of the Lords of Garbow. Stab defense of 1, slash defense of 2, and a blunt defense of 4. So now looking at it from the outside, you can see our thumbnail image, and of course the one that, if you're familiar with the game and him in the game, you'll be used to seeing. So there's our front view of this outfit all completed, there's the side view, and there's the rear view. So I would say pretty solid suit in a lot of ways. A, I think it looks great. B, it's got quite good stats. So let's go through those stats. For this suit, including the sword and the torch, because they are part of his kit, we have a total weight of 63.1 pounds. So decently heavy considering we're missing some components. We don't have any plate gauntlets, we don't have a collar, we have a rather light coif, but overall still very, very manageable. We have a total value for this one of 32,905.7 groschen. So that's very high. Keep in mind, a lot of those numbers are kind of inflated because when you steal items, they seem to have a higher visible value, and I think that's just to keep them more conspicuous. But be that as it may, it's obviously going to be an expensive suit no matter what you do, because the Noble's plate armor and the Nuremberg plate pieces are very, very valuable armor pieces. And then for our armor value itself, for the head we have an average of 148.7, for the body we have an average of 192.3, for the arms we have an average of 125, and for the legs we have an average of 262.7, so pretty high across the board, and that gives us an overall average armor rating of 182.2. So not as high as it could be. Again, if we added in just a couple more pieces, like I said, some plate gauntlets, and a collar, that enough would get it over the 200 mark if you had any halfway decent parts for those two slots. But you can also further improve it without changing the visuals of it in any way by just putting on a much more sturdy coif. But with all that being said, those are still pretty solid stats, and you can see that it's a fairly charismatic suit of armor. We do not have spurs, we don't have a ring, we don't have a necklace on, and we still have a charisma stat of 30 because of this. So it's a very, very solid suit of armor across the board. Great stats, looks really good. You can get it for free, and it has a pretty high charisma, being maxed out at 30. So now I'll just show you where you can get your hands on this suit. So if you want to get your hands on this suit, it's fairly simple. It is in the Kuttenberg region. We're over at Sigismund's camp. Once you've gained access to this camp, you can walk around it freely. This area is restricted, but if you wait until night, I waited until just after midnight, and you come to where I am. So you can see this is where I placed my marker. There's this little courtyard of tents, and you're going to be looking for this green tent, which is what we're standing by. So you can see it's a big green tent. Like I said, it's this little secluded area. You want to come at night, and you want to be sneaky because there are guards, and it is a restricted area. But once you've gotten up to this green tent, all you got to do is go in here and find Zavish of Garbow, who you can see lying on the bed before us here. Now, keep in mind, he has a chest over there. The armor will not be in there. It is on him. So you're going to want to be as inconspicuousness, silent, and, otherwise stealthy as possible, because you're going to have to pickpocket him to get it. Well, or you could rob, knock him out or kill him, but the best way to do it without causing too much of a stir is going to be to pickpocket him, and you'll find all of the items on him. So it's definitely a pretty easy suit of armor to get if your stealth stats are high enough, and like I said, if you're willing to just stab him in the chest and take it from him. But with all that being said, that is it for this guide. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you are a fan of this suit, much like I am, and, a fan of getting a full suit of noble plate armor very easily. So that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any recommendations for other characters you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments section. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.